Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma. I finally got my Gypsy Rose felted bag done I wanted to try to make. This was the first time I ever crocheted a felted project. I had a lot of fun courtesy of Hobium Yarns, who was generous enough to send me the yarn I needed to make this project. I always like to try new things, and I think it's nice to go outside your comfort zone and go outside the box and try something new. This was a wonderful little project. You just crochet it like you normally do any other project, and then you throw it in the washing machine on the hottest setting of hot water, and then it felts itself. This is a gorgeous project. I love the yarn. It was really nice to work with. I had no problems whatsoever with the yarn. So let me show you what yarn I used. This first yarn was the Felting Wool Prince. Again, it's the Kartopu yarn, and this was color number D2236. You're going to need 3 balls of this yarn, and this is how much I had left over. So 2 full and then a partial for the third. So it does take 3 balls of yarn to make the actual bag. Now it's up to you whether you want to put decorative accents on your bag or not. You can choose whatever colors you want, or you can just leave it plain if you wish. 3 skeins of this, again color number D2236. And then I used this gorgeous pink, white, and gray. This is a multicolor print for my Gypsy Rose. And this color was D3156. So that was the color I used for the rose. It just coordinated nicely with it. I wasn't sure whether to use this green on my bag. I originally picked this pink. I was going to use this pink and just put pink leaves on, but I chose the green. But this pink would also be nice, and that's K1735. And this is also a pretty solid color if you didn't want to use that variegated color, the multicolor for the bag. And then for the leaves, I use color number K1392, and this is a solid green. But they have many beautiful colors on their website. I'll include that link down in my description box with all the information for Hobium Yarns. They have excellent shipping, and I'm not sure how these companies ship from overseas and gets here faster than the U.S. companies ship. I mean, I've ordered yarn from Hobium and I got it faster than yarn that I ordered from the United States. So not sure how that happens, but it's wonderful that it does. So you can have your yarn in pretty quick time. So this is the project I'm going to do today. So I'm going to grab my hook and I'm going to jump right in and get this project started. So before I begin, I'm going to go ahead and show you the measurements. Now I'm using my big stick here, so from the widest point to the widest point, it is about 11 3/4 inches, and this is after you felt it. Now the one thing I forgot to do was measure this before I threw it in the washing machine, so I would say this shrunk by about 1/3. So that's about 11 3/4 inches across the widest point, and then I believe it's 10 inches from the base of the bag up to the top of your bag here where your button goes. So that's the measurements. So now I'm going to grab my yarn, get started, and let's make this bag together. So I'm getting ready to start, and I'm starting with the Felting Wool Prince, which is a multicolored wool yarn. And this is color number D2236 is what I'm starting with. So I'm getting ready to start, and I'm starting with the Felting Wool Prince, which is a multicolored wool yarn. And this is color number D2236. To start, I just tie a double knot around my hook. Now you may choose to use whatever method you prefer to join your yarn. This is how I've always done it, and this is just the way I do it. So now we're going to start, and we're going to chain 27. So yarn over the hook and pull it through the loop on your hook. This is your first chain. The loop on your hook does not count as a chain. So yarn over, pull through, that's 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Continue until you have a total of 27 chains, and I'll be right back and we'll start round 1. I have my chain 27 finished, and now we're getting ready to start round 1. We're going to start by skipping that first chain, and we're going to work a single crochet into that second chain from hook. So skip that first chain, insert your hook into the second chain, yarn over, pull through the chain, yarn over, and pull through 2. You just made your first single crochet. Insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through. That is a single crochet. You're going to insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. You're going to insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. So all you have to do is work 1 single crochet in each chain across. So go ahead and repeat that. You're going to insert your hook into the next chain and work a single crochet, and you'll put 1 single crochet in each chain across until you get to the end of your chain, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at the end of my chain, and now I'm getting ready to turn and work across the bottom of my chain. We're going to make the corner by chaining 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. You're going to turn your work, and we're going to work 1 single crochet. Let me take my hook out of here. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each chain across, and we're going to be putting it right underneath the chain and between the base of that single crochet. So if you pull your work, you can see these little openings here where the light shines through. That's where you're going to be putting your stitches, and you can see it's right under the chain and right at the base of that next stitch. That's right where you put your hook. So insert your hook into the first chain at the base of that last single crochet you made. Just insert your hook right in that chain. Get this end out of the way and work a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook into the next chain right at the base of that next stitch. You can see the opening here. Insert into that opening and work your single crochet. Find your next chain, find the base of your next stitch. Again, just look for that little opening here, insert your hook, and work your single crochet. Insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. And you're just going to repeat that across to the end of your chain. Insert into the next chain, work a single crochet. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each chain across until you get to the end of your chain, and I will meet you there and show you how to finish round 1. I'm over at the end of round 1, and we're getting ready to finish our round. So we're going to finish with a chain 2. Yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. We're going to turn our work. We're going to skip this beginning chain 1 because that does not count as a stitch, and you're going to insert your hook under those top 2 strands of that first single crochet of the round. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. You just slip stitched round 1 together, and round 1 is finished. So when you're looking at your work, you should have a total of 26 single crochet across. We started with a chain 27, but because we worked that first stitch into the second chain, you end up with 26 single crochet. You'll have your corner chain 2, and then a total of 26 single crochet coming back across the bottom of your chain, and then your ending chain 2. So let's begin round 2. We're going to start round 2 with the chain 1, yarn over and pull through. You're going to insert your hook back into that same beginning stitch right under those top 2 loops, and work a single crochet. You're going to insert your hook under the top 2 loops of the next stitch and work a single crochet. So this is a very easy round as well. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across until you reach that corner chain 2 space. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch across to that next corner chain 2 space, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at our corner chain 2 space, and you can see it here. So now we're going to work 4 single crochet all in this corner chain 2 space. So insert into that corner chain 2 and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into that same chain 2 space, work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into the same corner chain 2 space, work a single crochet. That's 3. You can pull those stitches over if you need to. Insert into that same corner chain 2 space and work a single crochet. You should have a total of 4 single crochet into that corner chain 2 space. So now we're going to go ahead and work across the rest of our round. We're going to insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. And I have my end running right across that round, and I'm going to go ahead and weave it right in as I'm working. And that's from the previous round. So insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Repeat that across, work 1 single crochet in each stitch across to that next corner chain 2 space, and I'll meet you at the corner chain 2. I'm over at my ending corner chain 2 space at the end of round 2. Here it is. And we're going to work 4 single crochet into that ending chain 2 corner. Insert into that chain 2 space and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into that ending chain 2 space, work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert back into that corner chain 2 space, work a single crochet. That's 3. I'm just going to pull my stitches over a little. Insert into that same space, work a single crochet, and that's 4. You should have a total of 4 single crochet in your ending corner chain 2 space. So now we're getting ready to join. You want to skip that beginning chain 1 because that does not count as a stitch, and you're going to insert your hook up under the top 2 strands of that first single crochet, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. So at the end of round 2, if you start at your beginning single crochet and count all the way around your work, you should have a total of 60 single crochet stitches. So now I'm getting ready to start round 3. So for round 3, we're going to start with a chain 1. We're going to work a half double crochet in each of the next 26 single crochet stitches. So yarn over the hook, you're going to insert back into that same beginning single crochet, yarn over, pull back through that stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. We're going to work 1/2 double crochet in each of the next 25 stitches. We needed to work 1 double crochet in each of the next 26 stitches. We did our first one, so now we need to do it 25 more times. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 3. Continue working 1/2 double crochet in each single crochet around until you work a total of 26 half double crochets. I'm going to finish mine, and I will meet you when I get my 26 stitches finished. So I just finished working my 26 half double crochet around, and when you look at your work you'll notice that you ended in that last single crochet before the 4 single crochet of that corner. So now we're going to work 2 half double crochet in each of these 4 single crochet in that corner. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. We have our first set of 4 finished. We need to do that 3 more times. So we're going to work 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work your first half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work your second half double crochet. We have 2 sets of the 4 made. We need to do that 2 more times, so we're going to work 2 half double crochet in this next stitch. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work your second half double crochet. We have 3 sets made. We needed 4, so we need to do that 1 more time. We're going to work 2 half double crochet into this next stitch. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work your first half double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same stitch, and work a second half double crochet. Our corner is finished. We work 2 half double crochet in each of those 4 corner single crochet, and now we're getting ready to start across the other side of our round. You're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 26 single crochet stitches. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. And you're going to work 1 half double crochet until you had a total of 26 half double crochet across, and when you get across you will end right at that last single crochet before your corner. You'll have 4 stitches in that corner, but when you work your stitches you'll end here right before the corner. So go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in those remaining 24 stitches around for a total of 26 across this side, and I will meet you at the corner where you have 4 single crochet. I just finished my 26 half double crochet, and again you can see that we finished right at the corner where there's 4 single crochet into that corner, so you end right before that corner. So now we're going to go ahead and work our corner, and we're going to work 2 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches in our corner. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work a second half double crochet. That's our 1 set of 2 out of 4. We need to do that 3 more times. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same space, and work a second half double crochet. That's 2 sets of 4. We need to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work your second half double crochet. You just made your 3rd set of 2. We need to make 4 sets of 2, so we need to do it 1 more time into this last stitch. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. So we just finished our round, and we finished with 2 half double crochet in each of those 4 stitches of that corner. So now we're going to go ahead and join our round. When you come across your round, you'll notice that this looks like a stitch. This is not a stitch. This is what I tell everybody if you're new to crocheting, is your joining bar. So the biggest mistake new crocheters make is trying to work in this space thinking it's a stitch. It is not a stitch. It's just what forms when you join that round together with this loop here. So we're going to skip this joining bar. You're going to skip that chain 1 space, and you're going to insert your hook under the top 2 loops of that first stitch. And we're going to join with a slip stitch. Oops, I went under too far. Yarn over, pull through, and then pull through the loop on your hook. And when you look at this, you can see how it forms that joining bar. So at the end of round 3, you should have a total of 70 half double crochet stitches made. So let's begin round 4. Round 4, we're going to work in the same manner. We're going to chain 1. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 26 half double crochet stitches. So yarn over, insert into that first stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 3. So continue working and work 1 half double crochet in the remaining 23 stitches across until you have a total of 26 stitches made, and I will meet you at the corner. My 26 half double crochet stitches are made, and if you look at your work, you end right before that first half double crochet of the corner where you started working the 2 stitches in each stitch around that corner. So now we're going to begin, and we're going to work 2 half double crochet in each of the next 8 half double crochet stitches around that corner. So yarn over, insert into that next stitch, the first stitch of that corner, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. So go ahead and work 2 half double crochet in each of the next 7 stitches, and I'll meet you when I'm done with my corner. My corner is finished, and you should have worked 2 half double crochet in each of those 8 stitches in the corner. So now we're just going to go ahead and repeat the same. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 26 stitches. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over the hook, insert into the next stitch, work a half double crochet. That's 3. We made 3 of the 26, so go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 23 stitches, and I'll meet you at the next corner. I'm over at my next corner, and we're going to go ahead and work 2 half double crochet in each of the remaining 8 half double crochet around the corner. So yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work a half double crochet, and that's 2. So go ahead and work 2 half double crochet in each of those remaining 7 stitches, and I'll meet you at the end of the round and show you how to join. I'm at the end of round 4, and again we're going to join with the slip stitch into the top of our beginning single crochet. You're going to skip this joining bar here. You're going to skip that beginning chain 1 because that does not count as a stitch. You're going to insert under those top 2 loops of that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So round 4 is finished. Let me zoom out and show you what our work should look like. This is the base of our handbag. This is the bottom. So now we're going to start working in even numbers with no increases, and it's going to start forming the side of our bag. So we're going to start the next 3 rounds, and they'll all be the same. We're going to work rounds 5 through 7. And to start those rounds, all we're going to do is start with a chain 1, yarn over, pull through, and we're going to work 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around. So yarn over, insert into that first stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. Continue working 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 5 and show you how to join. I'm over at the end of round 5 and I'm getting ready to join. Again, you're going to skip that joining bar here. You're going to skip that beginning chain 1, and you're going right underneath the top 2 loops of that first 1/2 double crochet stitch. Insert under those top 2 loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. You should have a total of 84 stitches around. I'm going to just zoom out a little, and you can see when working your piece, if you look ever so slightly, you can see how this corner is starting to try to curl up. I think you can see it there. It's just now just slightly turning up. So your corners are starting to form first, and then your sides will slowly start turning in as well to start forming those sides. So for rounds 6 and 7, just click back on the video to where we started round 5, and you're going to start with the chain 1, and you're going to work 1/2 double crochet completely around your work, and you're going to do that for 2 more rounds. So go ahead and work rounds 6 and 7 exactly as we just worked round 5, and I will meet you at the end of round 7. I'm over at the end of round 7, and this is what your work should look like. The corners are really turning up. The sides right in the middle still lay a little flat, but as we progress, it will start turning up to form the sides of that bag. So we're going to begin round 8. Round 8, we're going to start with the chain 1. Now for round 8, we're going to work a single crochet in each stitch around. So insert into that beginning stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That's your single crochet. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 8. And you should have a total of 84 single crochet when you get to the end of your round. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 8. I'm over at the end of round 8, and I'm getting ready to join my work. Again, with each round, you're going to skip that joining bar. That's not a stitch. You're going to skip that beginning chain 1. You're going to insert your hook under the top 2 loops of that first stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So round 8 is finished. Let me zoom out. It's still a little flat on the sides, and again, as we're working up and progressing, this will eventually start turning. So this is more of a Gypsy Hobo bag where the inside will be a little larger. It won't be just a skinny purse like that. You want a little bit more room for all your items. So for round 9, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start. We're going to chain 1. And now we're going to work 1/2 double crochet in each single crochet around. So yarn over, insert into that first stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that next stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. So continue working 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 9, and you'll have 84 half double crochet around. I'll meet you at the end of round 9 and show you how to join. I'm over at the end of round 9, and we're going to join in the same manner with the slip stitch. You're going to skip that joining bar, you're going to skip that beginning chain 1, you're going to insert underneath the top 2 loops of that beginning stitch, and slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now let me set it down and I'll show you. Zoom out. And you can see how your sides are going up, and again eventually this is going to work itself up. So a few more rounds and you'll really see that starting to form the bag. Round 10, we're going to start with a chain 1. We're going to insert into that first stitch and we're going to work a single crochet. So round 10, we're just going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. And I know because these are short bursts in the pattern, because it's such a simple repeat pattern, I'm only showing a few stitches. So once I tell you what to do, like 1 single crochet in each stitch around, just click that pause button until you get your round made, and then just click start when you're ready to continue. So go ahead and work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 10 and show you how to join. I'm over at the end of round 10. And we're getting ready to join. We're going to join with the slip stitch. So skip that joining bar. You're going to skip that chain 1, insert underneath the top 2 loops of that beginning single crochet, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. And round 11 is going to be our 1/2 double crochet round. So we're going to start with a chain 1. We're going to yarn over, insert into that beginning stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a 1/2 double crochet. We're just going to continue working 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around. So go ahead and work 1/2 double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 11. I'm over at the end of round 11, and we're going to join with the slip stitch. You're going to skip that joining bar, you're going to skip that chain 1, insert under the top 2 strands of that first stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now what we're going to do, when you look at your bag, you can see it still kind of hangs down in the middle. So what we want to do is our next round, we're going to decrease and tighten this up and start pulling our bag together and just bring it together just a little bit more to help form that side of the bag. So we're going to go ahead and start round 12. We're going to start with a chain 1. You're going to insert into that beginning stitch and work a single crochet. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. So insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet, that's 1, insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet, that's 2, work a single crochet in the next stitch, that's 3, into the next stitch is 4, work a single crochet into the next stitch, that's 5, insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet, that's 6, into the next stitch is 7, single crochet into the next stitch is 8, single crochet into the next stitch, and that's 9. So now we're going to do a decrease, and we're going to single crochet 2 together. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull it through. You're going to keep that loop on your hook. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull back through that stitch, keeping that loop on the hook. You now have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. You just decreased 1 stitch and took 2 stitches and made them 1. This is how we're going to pull the side of our bags together a little bit more. So now we're going to start our repeat. Our repeat begins with 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. So I'm just going to count as I work my stitches. Insert into that next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to single crochet 2 together and decrease by 1 more stitch. Insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over and pull it through. 2 loops on hook. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We just decreased by 1 stitch, and that is the end of the repeat. So click back on the video and you can follow along if you're not sure how to do it. Just work 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches, and then you're going to decrease by single crocheting 2 together. So go ahead and do your repeat around, and I will meet you at the end of round 12. I'm over at the end of round 12. We decreased by 7 stitches doing our repeat around. So now you should have a total of 77 single crochet. So now we're going to join the end of round 12. You're going to skip that joining bar. You're going to skip that beginning single crochet, and we're going to insert our hook into the top of that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now we're getting ready to start round 13, and this is just going to be a simple half double crochet round. We're going to start with the chain 1. We're going to yarn over, insert into that beginning stitch, and work a half double crochet. We're going to work 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So nice easy round. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. So go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in each stitch around, and I will meet you at the end of round 13. I'm over at the end of round 13. You should have a total of 77 half double crochet around, and we're just going to go ahead and join with the slip stitch into the top of that beginning stitch, just under those top 2 loops. yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So we're getting ready to start round 14, and round 14 is going to be a simple round as well. We're going to start with the chain 1, and we're going to work a single crochet into that first stitch. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. So this round, all we're going to do is work one single crochet in each stitch around. So go ahead and work one single crochet in each stitch around. You will have a total of 77 single crochet. There's no increases. We're working even in the round, and when you come over to the last stitch, I'll meet you at the end of this round, which is round 14. I'm at the end of round 14. You should have a total of 77 single crochet, and we're going to join with the slip stitch into the top of that beginning single crochet. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now rounds 15 is just going to be another simple half double crochet round, and then the next round we'll do another decrease. So for this round we're going to chain 1, we're going to yarn over, insert into that first stitch, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. So continue working around. You will be working one half double crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the end of round 15, you should have a total of 77 half double crochet. So go ahead and repeat that around, and I will meet you at the end of round 15. So I'm getting ready to join round 15. So we're just going to go up and insert our hook into the top 2 loops of that beginning stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So let me zoom out just a little bit and show you our progress. So now this is what our bag looks like. You can see the sides are coming up. It has a nice large bottom to fit all your items. So just a really nice hobo bag coming along. So now we're going to go ahead and start round 16, and round 16 we're going to do 7 more decreases around. So I'll be right back and we'll get round 16 started. I'm over at the end of round 15. You should have a total of 77 half double crochet, and we're going to join by going under the top 2 loops of that first stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now we're getting ready to start round 16, and round 16 we're going to be decreasing around our handbag. So we're going to start with a chain 1. We're going to single crochet into this beginning stitch, insert your hook, and work a single crochet. We're going to single crochet in each of the next 8 stitches. I'm just going to count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to decrease 1 stitch, and we're going to single crochet 2 together. Insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through that stitch. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over, and pull through that stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook. We just made 1 decrease. So now we're going to start our repeat. we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches. So I'm just going to work my single crochet and count as I go. Insert into that next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to decrease 1 stitch, so we're going to single crochet 2 together, insert into that next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and that is your repeat. So go ahead and repeat that around. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 9 stitches, and then you're going to decrease and single crochet 2 together. So if you need help, just click back on the video where we started the repeat, work over to the end of the repeat where you decreased. Repeat that around, and I will meet you at the end of round 16. I'm over at the end of round 16, and you should have a total of 70 single crochet around. We decreased by 7 stitches, so you should have a total of 70 single crochet. So now we're getting ready and we're going to join, and we join in the same manner in each round. We're going to skip that joining bar, we're going to skip that chain 1, and we're going directly in the top of that first stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now I'm going to zoom out and show you what it looks like so far. And this is how it looks. We're coming along. So now we're getting ready to start our next round. And our next round is going to be a simple half double crochet round. So we're going to begin by chaining 1, yarn over, insert into that first stitch, and work your half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work your half double crochet. Yarn over, insert into the next stitch, and work a half double crochet. Continue working 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. When you come to the end of the round, you should have a total of 70 half double crochet stitches, and I'll meet you at the end of round 17. I'm over at the end of round 17, and we're getting ready to join. So insert your hook at the top of that beginning stitch, yarn over, pull through, and pull through the loop on your hook. So now we're getting ready to start round 18. We're going to chain 1 and work a single crochet into this same beginning stitch. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around, insert into the next stitch, and work a single crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. Continue working 1 single crochet in each stitch around. When you get to the end of round 18, you'll have a total of 70 single crochet. I'll meet you at the end of round 18. I'm back, and if you're working along with me with the same yarn, you'll notice that you're almost out of yarn. So I thought I would stop here and show you how I join my next yarn. Now when I join my yarn, I do tie a knot. So I hold them up against each other, side by side. I wrap it around my finger and I just tie a knot. Now when I'm working my crochet stitches, we're working this bag, I'm going to go ahead and start working my stitches again. And when I come to that knot, you want to make sure your knot is on the wrong side of your work. Never have it on the right side facing. You always want it on the back. So that's back there. It worked out perfectly. I did my stitch, and now what I do is I'll take this leftover yarn from tying my knot and I hold it right up against my work. This way it weaves those ends right into your work and you do not see them. So let me do a couple more stitches and then I'll show you what it looks like on the back. And again, it's just very important if you're new to crocheting that you keep that knot on the back and you can't see where I joined. So I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to continue working around and I'll meet you at the end of round 18. I'm at the end of 18 and I'm getting ready to join my round. So I'm going to slip stitch in that first stitch underneath the top 2 strands of that stitch. So round 18 is finished. Let me show you now how far we are. So this is what it looks like. So now what you're going to do is we're going to repeat rounds 17 and rounds 18 5 more times for a total of 10 more rounds. And you're going to just repeat the same pattern stitch. We're not increasing, we're not decreasing. We're just going to work round 17, which is 1 round of half double crochet around. You're going to join. The next round will be a round of single crochet and then you'll join. You start each round with a chain 1. So just click back on the video to where we started round 17 and repeat round 17 and round 18 5 more times for an additional 10 more rounds. You will end on round 28 and I will meet you at the end of round 28. I'm over at the end of round 28. I joined my work and this is what your bag should look like. It comes down and then you have just a small curve to where we start decreasing and coming up, and this is what your bag should look like. Now this is laying flat. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to put our top ridge on our bag. So we're going to work 3 more rounds of single crochet and create a top ridge. So let me zoom up. We're going to start round 29 and we're going to chain 1. You're going to single crochet into that first stitch and you're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch around. You're going to join to the top of the beginning single crochet and we're going to do that for a total of 3 rounds. So you'll work rounds 29, 30 and round 31 all in single crochet, and I will meet you at the end of round 31. I'm over at the end of round 31 and this is what our bag should look like. So now what I'm going to do is I already joined and I'm just going to fasten off my work. Then after we fasten off our work, we're going to get ready to start our straps. So to start your straps, we're going to start at this joining crochet here where we fastened off our work, and we're going to count over, and we're counting from the right to left, and we need to count over to the 16th stitch. So the first stitch, the joining stitch, is 1, and then we're going to count 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So in the 16th stitch, you need to place a stitch marker. Then you're going to continue counting, and starting here at 16, you're going to count across to the 31st stitch. So count over to stitch 31 and place a stitch marker. Once you get that stitch marker in place, then you start with stitch 31 and you count to stitch 51. You turn your work, keep counting those stitches, and when you get to stitch 51, place a stitch marker. And then we need to place one more stitch marker. So starting at stitch 51, you're going to start 51 and count to stitch number 66, and then place a stitch marker in stitch 66. And this is where we're going to work our straps. We're going to work one half of our strap first. So let me get back to my starting point here. I'm going to zoom out just a little. So what we're doing, and I hope this doesn't confuse you, we have our bag. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more. We have 2 stitch markers on the front of our bag, and we have 2 stitch markers on the back of our bag. So when we work our first strap, we're going to start and work our strap on one side of our bag, and then we're going to work the strap on the other side. We're doing one at a time. So basically when we begin, we're starting in the last stitch marker first, and we're going to crochet around to that first stitch marker that we placed. So that may confuse some people if they're actually reading the instructions. If you're following the video, it's easier to do because you're watching me. When you're reading the instructions, it will say join in the 66th stitch, which would be your last stitch marker, and then you will work across to your first stitch marker, which would be the 16th stitch. So you're going from 66 to 16 working this first part of the strap. So I'm going to grab my hook. I'll be right back, and we're going to get this left side of our strap made first, and then we'll come back and make the right side. I'll be right back. So we're getting ready to start that strap, and I'm going to insert my hook into that last stitch marker that we marked. This is stitch number 66. So if you started that joining stitch and count around, this would be stitch 66 and the last stitch marker you place. So insert your hook into that stitch, and I'm going to grab my new yarn, and this yarn that I fastened off, I'm just going to carry right along the top of my work and work right over that, and it will weave itself into the work. So I'm going to leave about a 3 or 4 inch length. I'm going to take my hook, and I'm just going to pull that new color through. So let me get close up. Pull that new color through, and because I don't need the stitch marker again, I'm just going to take that stitch marker right out of there. I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to work a single crochet into that same stitch as the stitch marker. Now we're going to single crochet in each of the next 20 stitches, and that should bring us right over to and into this next stitch marker. So insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. And I'm just going to work right across over to that next stitch marker with you. And you can see that I'm working right over top that starting piece of yarn. And then I'm coming over to the piece where I fastened off. So I'm going right into that joining stitch. And I'm just working over those ends. And I'm working over both ends at the same time. And continue working one single crochet in each stitch. Let me try to turn this so you can see the white in the background. Just going to follow that up. Now I'll probably leave a little bit of this length because it's pretty long, and just trim that off because I know I've done enough stitches that it should be fine. So I'm just going to let that hang back and trim that later. And I'm almost over to that first stitch marker. Okay, I have a few more stitches than I thought, so I'm just going to go ahead, one single crochet in each stitch over to that next stitch marker. So we have 2 stitches to go. I'm over to the stitch marker and I'm going to work right into that same stitch as the stitch marker. And then you can just pull that stitch marker out. It served its purpose. So now when you look at your work, you should have a total of 21 single crochet going across that part of your strap to start our strap. So now for rows 2 through 8, you're going to repeat row 2. We're going to do row 2 7 times. And what we're going to do is we're going to be decreasing 1 stitch on each side of our strap to form a triangle up. Let's start row 2. Row 2, we're going to start with a chain 1. We're going to turn our work. We're going to single crochet into the first stitch. We're skipping this chain 1, and you're going to insert right into the top of that first stitch and work a single crochet. We're going to decrease 1 stitch, so we're going to single crochet 2 together. Insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull it through the stitch. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over and pull it through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We decreased 1 stitch. So now we're going to single crochet in each stitch across until we get to the last 3 stitches. So when you look at your work, just look at your work and you can see your stitches here. We have 4 stitches. We need to work over to the 3rd stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and work a single crochet in that next stitch. And then when you look at your work, you have the 3 stitches remaining. We're going to decrease in these 2 stitches. So insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull it back through that stitch. You have 2 loops on your hook. Insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're going to end row 2 with a single crochet into that last stitch. Insert into that last stitch and work a single crochet. So basically what we're doing is we start with a single crochet, we decrease 1 stitch, we single crochet over to the last 3 stitches, we decrease a stitch and work a single crochet into that last stitch. So what you're going to do now is you're going to repeat row 2, and you need to repeat row 2 6 more times. So if you need help, just click back on the video and repeat row 2 exactly as we just done it, and you need to do that 6 more times. I will meet you at the end of row 8 and we'll continue with our strap. I'm over at the end of round 8, and if you look at your strap, now I'm on the wrong side of the work. This is the inside of the bag, and that's where you finished round 8, and you should have a total of 7 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is going to be the width of our strap now, 7 stitches. So what we're going to do, and this is for rows 9 through 59, now we're going to make the strap. Now when I made this bag, I'm trying to make the strap long enough so it hangs by the hip. So when you're making this strap, you can kind of adjust it to where you think you want it to be. So when you get to the end of row 59, you can kind of hold the bag next to your body and put the tip of row 59, the very end of 59, right at the top of your shoulder, and see if you like where the bag hangs. If it's way too long, if you're a short person and this is way too long and hangs down too far, then rip a few rows out until you get it to the length that you feel comfortable with where you would like it to hang on your shoulder. If it's too short and it does not hang long enough for you, then just go ahead and add a few rows. So this is very adjustable on the strap. So this is just a guideline of how many rows to go. So I'm going 59 rows. You may choose to do a different amount. Just hold the end of that strap when you get to round 59 to your shoulder, and then adjust accordingly to your height or however you're comfortable where your purse hangs. So we're going to go ahead and start row 9. Row 9, we're going to chain 1, and this will be your repeat row. So we chained 1 and we're going to turn our work. We're going to insert our hook into that first single crochet and work a single crochet. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the remaining stitches across. So you're going to have a total of 7 single crochet in each row when you work your rows. So I'm over to the last stitch. I'm going to insert into that last stitch and work a single crochet. So that was row 9. You're going to chain 1 and you're going to turn your work. You're going to work 1 single crochet in each single crochet across, and you're going to do that until you reach row 59. So this was row 9. You need to work 50 more rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch across, chain 1, turn, and repeat. So you're going to end on row 59. So I'm going to go ahead and work 50 more rows of single crochet, and then, like I said, when you get to the end of that strap, just adjust it longer or shorter. You can rip some out, you can add a few rows, just whatever you want. And then when I get done with row 59, I'll be back and we'll get the second half of our strap started. So I'm over at the end of row 59, and that's up here at the end of my strap. And again, we're working halfway up our strap. We're going to go over to the other side of our bag, work the second half of the strap in the same manner, and then we'll sew them together to form that strap. So you want to make sure that you start back over here on that first row of the strap where we started, and you count up and make sure you have your 59 rows or whatever length you need here in this strap to make your purse comfortable. So I'm going to go ahead, let me zoom up, I'm going to go ahead and fasten off my work. Now this side I'm not going to leave a long length. I'll leave that on the second strap because you need at least a long length on one of the straps to sew that together. So I'm fastening off on this side, and then we're going to take our bag and you're going to turn it around to the opposite side. So here's our bag. We started on this side, on the left side, so you can see the side of our bag is formed. Our strap is coming up halfway, and now we're coming over to the right side and we're going to begin this strap. So you're going to have to turn the bag over to get to this other marker here. So we're just going to turn that bag to the right side until you see both stitch markers. So let me show you one more time. This is the left side where we done our handle. I'm going back over to the right side of the bag, and I'm just going to open that right side up and turn my purse so both stitch markers are showing. We're going to start and insert our hook into the stitch on the right where our stitch marker is. So I'm going to leave about a 3 or 4 inch length. I'm going to insert my hook into that same stitch as the stitch marker. I'm going to pull that new yarn through, and once I know where my stitch is, I can just pull this stitch marker out. I'm going to chain 1. You're going to insert your hook into that same beginning stitch and single crochet. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each stitch across to that next stitch marker. So I'm just going to go ahead and work right across to that other stitch marker, and you can see I have that little piece of yarn left from where I pulled my yarn through. I'm working into the stitch and then underneath that strand, yarn over, I pull it through and work my stitch, which the stitch works over top of that, and when you turn it back you can see you can't see your end. So I'm just going to work over to that other stitch marker, and here is my last stitch. I'm going right into that stitch where the stitch marker is. I'm going to go back and double count my stitches. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 21. So instead of me showing you over how to do this again, to keep the video short, you need to click back to where we started, row 2 of the other side of the strap, and you're just going to work this second half of the strap exactly as the first half of the strap. You're going to work rows 2 through 8, and you're going to do the single crochet, decrease 1 stitch, single crochet across to the last 3 stitches, decrease, and then single crochet into that last stitch, and you'll do that for rows 2 through 8, and then rows 9 through 59 will be a simple single crochet until you get it to the length you want, or if you're making it exactly as I am, you'll stop on row 59. Remember that this is row 1, so click back on the video until you start with row 2 of that strap. Follow the instructions exactly the same as the first strap, and I'll meet you when I get my second strap finished. I'm back, and I just completed my second strap, and it comes up off the side of the purse and then comes down. So what you're going to need to do now is you're going to fasten off. I think I'm a little twisted here. There I go. So you want to fasten off leaving a sewing length, because we're going to sew the ends of our strap together now. So I have my yarn needle. I'm going to fasten off my work. So then you're going to take your bag, and you'll have your 2 handles. Make sure that your straps are all going in the same direction so it's not twisted when you sew it together. And we're just going to butt that right up against each other. So take your yarn needle and thread that long end on. Okay, I'm ready to sew. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to swing this around and work from the other side because that's where I'm comfortable with. Now I just messed myself up. Okay, just make sure that this is not twisted. And then let me zoom up so you can see what I'm doing. Now I have this end here on this one, and I'm just going to throw that aside, and I'll weave that in when I'm all done. So I'm going to take my needle, and I'm coming from the one side, and I'm going over and from the bottom up in that first stitch, and you're just going to pull that up, and then I'm going to come over and I'm going to go back into that first stitch on the other side, right down through the top 2 loops. And what I'm doing is I'm butting this right together. I don't want to see that seam. I'm going to pull those stitches right tight together. And then I'm coming over underneath the next stitch. I'm coming down through the top of the next stitch. Sorry, I think my hand was in the way. And I'm just going to continue working in that manner. Come up from the bottom on the next side, right underneath those 2 loops of that stitch. You can see the 2 loops here. This is a little bit dark yarn, and then I'm going to match it to the same stitch on the other side, and I'm going underneath those 2 loops, and I'm just going underneath my work. And we're just going to continue sewing, matching the stitches up, and I'm just going under the top 2 loops of the stitches. And then I match it up to the one beside it. I'm just going to sew right across, and then I'll show you how I fasten off my work. And then what we're going to do when we get our strap done, we're going to do a border around the edges of our strap, because this strap can really stretch, and we want it to stretch but not that far. We don't want this to hang to our feet when we get our items in it, especially if you put some heavier items in it. Now I'm just going to secure this right over to the very edge and put an extra stitch in my edge just to give it a nicer look. And then I'm going to flip it over to the back, and you can see, can you see where I put it together? Don't look at this, but it's really hard to see. I'm going to flip it over, and what I usually do is I usually catch 1 or 2 stitches, I pull it through, and then I stop while there's a loop here. And then once I have that loop, I take my needle back through the loop, and it helps kind of like tie a little knot and secure that end. And then I weave through. I'll take it and I'll just weave it through those stitches across. And then I'll come back over a couple stitches, just weaving in and out. And then I just take my scissors and I trim. Okay, these scissors need thrown in the trash. They are very dull. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that other end where I fastened off on the other strap, and I'm going to come around and I'm going to fasten that and weave it in on the back just like I did the other side. So go ahead and weave your other end in, and I'll come back, and if you see this, how much it stretches, it can really stretch once you get weight in that bag. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and crochet right around this strap, and what happens is it helps secure that so it doesn't stretch as far. And this is a really important step to this bag. You really need to do that. Don't skip this step. You really need to put that edging on. So I'll be right back to do that. So this is what our bag looks like so far, and you can see that we have pretty wide sides on that beginning strap to support that bag. So now you want to turn your bag, and you want to start either on this side or you can start on this side. It doesn't matter, but we're going to start on the right side of work where that right strap is. This is the right strap, that's the left. And let me zoom up here. So when you look at your strap, you're going to notice that this first row goes into this single crochet. So we want to go into the first unworked single crochet. So because this stitch has a stitch in it, we're going to start in this first single crochet here where there's no stitches in it. So just insert your hook into that first single crochet at the top of the bag. Let me try to get some of the stuff out of the way. Again, you can see where that strap's going down into this stitch, so we're starting here. So I need to grab my yarn, and I always leave about a 3 or 4 inch length, and this weaves in very nicely. You can't even see your ends. I'm just going to grab that new color, and we're going to pull our new color through, and we're going to chain 1. We're going to insert our hook back into that beginning stitch and work a single crochet. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 13 stitches. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1, 2, and you can see I'm working right over that beginning end that's left over from starting. That's 3, 4, 12, and then 13. And when you make your 13th stitch, you can see that that was the last stitch before our strap begins, because here is the next stitch. Our first row of that strap is right there, so we do not work in that next stitch. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn our work. I hope this isn't too close. Let me zoom out just a little. Maybe it might be easier to see. So now we're going to start working up the edge of our strap. So we're going to go right into that first row end stitch. So if you're not sure where it is, just look for this double little, here's the first single crochet. So you just go right into that space there, right where the row is. You can see the row here. And you can follow the rows by looking for those stitches in the next row. Just look for those little double lines, and that's the next row. So what we're going to do to start the repeat is we're going to single crochet one single crochet in each to the next 3 row end stitches. So I'm trying to move this bag so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to insert into that first row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into the next row end stitch, and if you pull this apart you can kind of see those little openings right here. Those are your row end stitches. So if you look for those, it's easier to see where you can put your hook. Insert into that next row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into that next row end stitch, work a single crochet. That's 3. You're going to skip this next row end stitch and you're going to jump to the next row end stitch. And all this does is help pull this a little bit tighter so this strap will not stretch so far when you have your items in your bag. So skip this next row end stitch and that's the end of your repeat. So let's do our repeat again. You're going to skip this row end stitch, insert into the next row end stitch and work a single crochet. Insert into the next row end stitch and work a single crochet. Insert into the next row end stitch, this one's a little tighter but it's right here, and work a single crochet. We're going to skip this next row end stitch and that's your repeat. Now because I told you that you could lengthen or shorten the strap depending on your preference of where you want the bag to hang, this stitch pattern may come out differently than what I'm doing unless you worked it the same as I am doing. So go ahead and repeat. You're going to skip the next row end stitch and work a single crochet in each of the next 3 row end stitches. So once you do that final repeat of working 3 single crochet and skipping that row end stitch, whatever you have remaining, 3 stitches or 2 stitches or 1 stitch, you would just single crochet in those remaining stitches. So I'm going to work across, I'm going to see where I end up, and then I'll come back and show you how to finish this bag. I'll be right back. So I'm back over to the opposite side and I just did my 3 single crochet. So I need to skip this next row, which leaves me 1 row remaining. So if you have less than 3 rows, just go ahead and single crochet in whatever rows are there. But if you have more than 3 rows, then go ahead and skip that row. Now if you end with 4 and you work 3 single crochet, you can't skip that last row. You just need to work a single crochet into that row. So if you made your strap longer or shorter, then when you get to the other side, just use your judgment and single crochet into those stitches. So I need to skip a stitch. So now I'm going to work into that last row end stitch going around my strap. And then I'm just going to come over, and this does not count because this is part of the bag. This was that last row end stitch. So you're finished now. You're going to come over and slip stitch into the top of that beginning single crochet where we started our round going around the strap. So yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. I'm going to fasten off, and then I will weave this end in later. So when you look at your strap, This is the side that we did the edging on, and this side we did not. So you can see how this puts a really nice finishing edge on that strap. So now what we're going to do is you're going to flip your bag, and we're going to work on the other side. So we did the one side, and now we're coming over, and you just flip your bag over. Let me zoom out again. So we worked around this side of our strap already, and now we're going to flip our bag, and we're going to work around this part of our strap. So now we're getting ready to start the opposite side, but for this side, when we start working across this flat part of the top of the bag, we're going to work this a little differently because we need to put our loop for our button on this side in the center. So I have my yarn, and we're going to go back up to the left side of our strap and look at your work. Here is where that first row end stitch goes into that stitch. So we want to go over to the next stitch, which is the first unworked single crochet. So when you're joining your yarn, look for that one stitch that has no stitches in it. This one, that row end stitch is in, we're coming over here. Insert your hook, grab that yarn, and pull that color through. And you're going to start with a chain one. We're going to single crochet into that same beginning stitch. We're going to single crochet in each of the next 5 stitches. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to single crochet 2 together, and make sure that you keep your gauge tight because it can form a gap if you don't keep your yarn a little tight when making that stitch. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. Insert into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through. You have 3 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through, keeping that yarn tight. We're going to chain 10 for our button loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Grab that chain 10 space, pull it out of your way, and remember, keep that yarn and gauge tight for this section of the bag. You're going to come backwards. You're going to go right into beneath that top of that stitch where you single crocheted, and we're going to slip stitch. Yarn over, pull through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. You just made your chain 10 button loop for the other side. Now there will be a small gap, but if it's too big, remake this keeping it as tight as you can so that doesn't form a big gap. I'm just going to grab this and try to pull it out of my way to the side, and then I'm going to continue working and working 1 single crochet in each of the next stitches. Insert your hook into that next stitch and work a single crochet. Insert into the next stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into the next stitch, work a single crochet. That's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now when you look at your work, you'll see that you just worked in the last single crochet. This next stitch has that row end stitch in it, just like when we did it on the other side. So you're going to go ahead and work the same way you did on the other side. You're going to insert into that first row end stitch here, insert into that row end stitch, and you're going to work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into the next row end stitch, work a single crochet. That's 2. And again, if you pull that, you can see those openings, those little tiny openings there where your stitches go in for your row end stitches. Insert into the next row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 3. You're going to skip this next row. So that was your repeat. I'll show you one more time. And again, if you made your strap shorter or longer, this may end up differently than me. I will end up with 1 row end left over after my repeat, and I'll just single crochet into that row. So if you get over to the other side, as long as it's 4 stitches or less, just go ahead and single crochet in whatever of those remaining stitches are left after the end of the repeat if you don't have any more room to make another repeat, because this is adjustable. So whatever you did, if you followed me, you should end up with 1 extra row, and I just single crochet into that. Your repeat will be, you're going to skip that next row end stitch, insert into the next row end stitch, and work a single crochet. Insert into the next row end stitch and work a single crochet. That's 2. Insert into the next row end stitch, work a single crochet. That's 3. And you skip the next row end stitch. So go ahead and repeat that around. I'll go ahead and finish my edging, and I'll meet you when I'm finished. I'm over at the end of my next strap, and I'm just going to go ahead and insert into the top of that single crochet. I'm slip stitching, and then I'm just going to fasten off my work. And when you fasten off, make sure you leave a long enough length that it's so much easier to leave a little bit longer length than it is to cut it too short and then try to thread that yarn needle to get in there and weave. So just leave a little extra. Now let me show the bag. This is our button loop, so that's on the back side. So when we flip it over, I have to go get my button. We will attach our button right into the center, and then you just loop that over your bag. So now you can leave this bag plain, or you can dress it up. So if you want to dress it up, I'm going to grab my other yarn and I'll be back. So I worked ahead to try to come up with the design. Now, when I was making this bag, I was trying to figure out, first I had my rows down here in the corner with 1 leaf going this way and 1 going that way. And then I put it in the center, and I just couldn't figure out where I wanted it, so I just stuck it right in the middle. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to make this gypsy rose, and then we're just going to make 2 leaves. Now you don't have to place this in the center of your bag. When we get these pieces made, you can put it down in the corner, you can arrange it in whichever method you want to, or you can just use a completely different applique, a different flower. But this is the base bag. You can keep it plain like this side and just use that as a base bag, and then you can turn it over and you can use appliques or whatever you want to do to it. So a lot of different design ways you can make this bag. So if you don't want to put any applique, crochet appliques on, and then you can just call it a day, throw it in the washing machine on hot setting, and just come out with a plain bag, which will still look wonderful because of the design in the yarn itself. So let me go ahead and show you how to make the gypsy rose and the 2 leaves, and if you decide to put them on your bag, then you will be making the same bag as I will. I also already attached my button up here to this loop. So let's get started on the gypsy rose, and I'm using the color number D3156. That's the multicolor for the rose, and I think it looks really pretty because it really stands out on the bag, which is the name Gypsy Rose Hobo Bag. So let me grab my hook and I'll be right back and we'll get this rose started. I'm back and I have my yarn attached to my hook, and we're going to start and we're going to chain 29. Yarn over, pull through. This is your first chain. This does not count as a chain. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. yarn over, pull through, that's 3. Continue until you have a chain with 29 chains, and I'll be back to start row 1. I'm back and I have my chain 29 made, and we're going to begin and we're going to single crochet into the second chain from hook. So skip the first chain, insert your hook into that second chain from hook, and work a single crochet. We're going to single crochet into the next chain, insert into the next chain, and work a single crochet. We're going to single crochet in each chain across to the end of our chain. Continue working 1 single crochet in each chain across. I will meet you at the end of row 1. I'm over at the end of row 1, and this is what your work should look like. You should have a total of 28 single crochet across. So to start our petals, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2. We're going to turn our work. We're going to skip the beginning 2 chains, and we're going to work right into the top of that first stitch. So skip 1, 2, you're going to yarn over, insert right into the top of that first stitch, right under the top 2 strands, and work a half double crochet. Yarn over and pull through 3 loops. We're going to work 3 more half double crochet all in this same stitch. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 2. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 3. So we have our beginning chain 2, and then we have 4 half double crochet all in that same beginning stitch. We're going to slip stitch into the next single crochet. Insert into that next stitch under both loops of that stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. We're going to work 5 half double crochet into this next single crochet stitch, yarn over, insert into that next stitch, and work a half double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 2. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 3. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 4. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a half double crochet, that's 5. We're going to slip stitch into this next stitch. If you can't see it, pull those stitches back, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. Now we're going to do a repeat. We're going to work 5 double crochet into this next stitch, and then we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and we need to do that 5 times. So yarn over the hook, insert into the next stitch, yarn over, pull back through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. That's your first double crochet. We need to make 4 more into that same stitch, yarn over, insert into that stitch, and work a double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a double crochet, that's 3. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a double crochet, that's 4. Yarn over, insert into that same stitch, work a double crochet, and that's 5. We're going to slip stitch into this next stitch. Insert your hook into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. That is the end of the repeat. So go ahead and work 5 double crochet into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next, and you need to do that 4 more times. So go ahead and do that repeat 4 more times. I'll meet you when I am finished and we'll continue on. So now we're going to work 5 triple crochet into the next stitch and then slip stitch into the next, and we're going to do that 7 times, and that will finish our row. We will end with the slip stitch in our very last stitch. So yarn over the hook twice, once and twice, insert into that next stitch, yarn over, pull through the stitch, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You just made your first triple. We need to make 4 more triple crochet into that same stitch, yarn over twice, insert into that same stitch, and work a triple crochet. That's 2. We need to have 5 stitches in this stitch, so yarn over twice, insert back into that same stitch, and work a triple crochet. That's 3. Yarn over twice, insert back into that same stitch, and work a triple crochet. That's 4. Yarn over twice, insert back into that same stitch, and work a triple crochet. And that is 5. You're going to come down and you're going to work a slip stitch into this next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull back through that stitch, and pull through the loop on your hook. And you can see how it curves just a little to form that petal. So you're going to go ahead and repeat that 6 more times across your row, and you will end with a slip stitch into this last stitch of the row. So go ahead and work 5 triple crochet into the next stitch and slip stitch into the next. Repeat that across your row 6 more times, and you should end right at the last stitch with a slip stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and work across, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. So I'm over at the end, and I ended with a slip stitch in the last stitch across. And it's kind of all twisted and curly, and that's normal. So I went ahead and cut my yarn. I'm just going to finish off and leave a long sewing length, not as long as I did, but just enough to secure this and sew across the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and thread my yarn on the needle, because once you get your rows formed, it's easier to have your needle on the sewing length than it is to try to hold the rows and thread it. So thread it before you begin. So what we're going to do is you're going to start where we worked our single crochet and our half double crochet on the small end. And what we're going to do is we're going to fold and wrap this to form our rows. You're going to take the first set of half double crochet stitches and you're going to kind of turn it in on itself towards the second one. So take the first one and bend it towards the second one. And then we're just going to continue folding and wrapping, and you'll untwist it as you go. And we're just going to keep forming our rows by wrapping this around and just continue working it around to form that rows. And when you get it where you think you like the looks of it, that doesn't look too bad there. I might be too close. Let me zoom out a little so you can see it. There you go. So as I hold my rows in place, I'm going to flip it over, and I'll weave this other end in later, this small end. So I have my yarn needle on my hook, and then you're just going to start sewing these layers together. Now you need to make sure that you're going through all the layers. Now I'm going to start over here and I'm going to try to make sure I come underneath, grab that layer, and then come in through the center and grab right in through the center so we have all those stitches. Now you don't need to pull real tight, you just need to make sure that your yarn is going through all those layers to catch them all. And then I'm going to come way back out here. I'm coming underneath, I'm going to grab that other piece where we wrapped it, and then I'm coming back through to the center. You want to make sure you get all the layers. And I'm just going to continue sewing that and sewing these layers. I'm going through the back. You can see my needle coming up under that second part where we wrapped, and then come back up through that center. And you're just going to keep doing that around the whole underneath back side of this flower to make sure this is secure and it holds the flower together. And when you get to the other side, you can either tie it to the center. So I'm going to go ahead and sew around, and I'll be back and show you how I finish it off. I sewed around my flower, and this short end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it around my long sewing length. I'm just going to double knot it. And then I'm going to remove my yarn needle from the long sewing length, and you want to keep this here. Don't cut that off because you're going to need this to sew the flower onto the handbag. So then I just put my yarn over my needle, and then I'm just going to take this and weave it right through these stitches, right underneath and through, kind of around my flower, and just pull it out. Snug it, just pull it a little snug, and then I'm going to just cut off this end. And then you will save this sewing length to help sew your flower onto your bag. This will be sewed on last. So now we're going to go ahead and make our 2 leaves, which we'll sew on first, and then stick our rose right down in the center and sew that on. So let me grab my green yarn and we'll get those leaves started. So I have my green attached to my hook, and I'm using color number K1392. Now it doesn't have a yarn color name, it just has the number. So this is a very beautiful green. So we're going to start and we're going to chain 7. Yarn over, pull through, that's 1. Yarn over, pull through, that's 2. I'm going to go ahead and just do my 7. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're going to start and we're going to slip stitch into the second chain from hook. So we're going to skip this first chain, insert our hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull it through that chain, and pull it through the loop on the hook. We're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 2 chain. Insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. Insert into the next chain and work a single crochet. That's 2. Now we're going to work a half double crochet into the next chain, yarn over, insert into that next chain, yarn over, pull back through that chain. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. We're going to work 1 double crochet into the next chain, yarn over, insert into the next chain, yarn over, pull back through that chain, yarn over, pull through 2 loops only, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. We're over to our last chain and we're going to work 7 double crochet all in this last chain. So I'm just going to count my stitches, yarn over, insert into that last chain, and work a double crochet. That's 1. Yarn over, insert into that same chain, work a double crochet. That's 2. Yarn over, insert into that same chain, work a double crochet, that's 3, and what we're doing is we're just working right around the corner. Yarn over, insert into that chain, work a double crochet, that's 4. Yarn over, insert into that same chain, work a double crochet, that's 5. Yarn over, insert into that same chain, work a double crochet, that's 6. Yarn over, insert into that same chain, work a double crochet, and that's 7. And you can see it just made the bottom of our leaf and it turned that corner. So now we're going to work across the bottom of that foundation chain, and I'm just going to work right over this end piece of yarn. It helps weave it in. We're going to yarn over, insert into that next chain, and work a double crochet. We're going to work a half double crochet into the next chain, and if you look at your work, you can see those openings here, here, and here where your stitches should go. So yarn over, insert into that next chain, and work a half double crochet. We're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 chain, insert into that next chain, and work a single crochet. That's 1. Insert into the next chain, work a single crochet, that's 2. We're going to come up into this last chain and we're going to slip stitch. Insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that chain and pull through the loop on your hook. And that's how we're going to end our round, and that's how you work your leaf. Now when you fasten off, make sure you leave a sewing length. I'm just going to fasten off my work. I'm going to weave this short end in. I'm going to leave this long length for sewing. So go ahead and repeat that and make a second leaf. Just click back on the video where we started our leaf with the chain 7 and go ahead and make 1 more, and I'll be back and show you how to sew on your leaf. So I'm back and you should have your 2 leaves made. Now I only have 1 because I already got mine sewed on, and you have your flowers. So 2 leaves and a flower. So what you're going to do now, what I did was I used my yarn needle as a guide, because it was the exact size from the side of my bag to the tip of the leaf of where I wanted it to be. So I'm not quite sure if that would work for you, but find something that you think is a good guide and place your leaf. I placed the tip of my leaf right by the end of my yarn needle, and I sewed my leaf to my bag. And then I did the same thing over here to try to make sure it's evenly spaced on the bag. So I placed my yarn needle there and I put the tip of my leaf here. The secret of what I do when I'm actually sewing a crocheted applique to something that has 2 layers like our bag is I'll take some paper, I'll fold it, make it kind of thick, and I'll insert it into my bag. That way, when I'm sewing and you're putting that needle, the needle is hitting the paper and it's not going, and you're not catching on that back side of your work, which I have done many, many times. And that's why I started using the paper, because it is so frustrating when you're trying to sew. And even if you catch one little stitch, then you got to rip the whole thing out because it catches and then it sews the back to the front. So insert something thick, a piece of cardboard or paper, before you start sewing. So when I placed my leaf down, I sewed right into these stitches here. I just went down through my bag, back up through my stitches. I went back in here, and then I come back up here, and I just worked in and out through these stitches around to sew my leaves on. And when you look, you can't hardly even see where I sewed. You still see the stitches. So you can sew this to the center of the bag like I did, or you can place it down here. This was my first idea. I was going to go ahead and place it down here and then put another leaf in the corner. I mean, you can even make an extra flower if you want to and put 2 flowers on. It's up to you how you want to design your bag. So there's all kinds of possibilities. If you wanted to put an extra flower on it, you can do so. So be creative, come up with your own design. I'm going to stick with a single flower. Actually, I do kind of like it with the 2 flowers. I should have made 2 flowers maybe and put the leaves in between them. That would have been pretty, with the leaves going this way and that way. I don't want to rip it apart, but it's really funny how when you're working with something, how you can get other ideas. So do what you wish with decorating your bag. The only thing left for our bag is you'll need to sew a button to the top. Now you can use a toggle button. I tried to find a button that was kind of the same dark color as this, so I just sewed a regular, that's probably about a 1-inch button. So I'm not sure if you're supposed to do this, but I was wondering how it keeps its shape when you throw it in the washer and it's grinding and, you know, going like this and washing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same color of my bag because I'm not sure, I've really never felted before, but I want to try to make this bag hold its correct shape. So I'm going to take a piece of yarn, I'm going to take my crochet hook, and I'm going right into the sides of my strap, right at the bottom of that first stitch in that strap, and I'm going to pull a piece of yarn through, and I'm just going to tie a loose knot. That way it will help hold my bag's correct shape. And because I never felted before and I'm not sure if this will felt in and tighten up, at least if it does, I can just go ahead and clip this after it dries. Once I take it from the washer and it's felted, I will know that when this is in the washing machine going like this, it's not going to distort my bag, hopefully, and it'll help hold these straps together and keep that position. Again, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I'm going to do it anyhow, and we will see what happens. So I'm just going to go into that first stitch of my strap, and I'm going to do it on both sides. And I have a pretty long length, and I'm just leaving it really loose, but I'm leaving about, say, that much, just enough to get a finger in there, but it's not enough so when this is washing, it's still going to keep that together, and hopefully it doesn't get distorted. So our crocheting part is finished, our applique is on. So I'm going to take this down and I'm going to put this in my washing machine. I'm going to wash it on the hottest setting I have, and it might pay to put maybe a few items in your washer to help agitate it, to help get some rubbing against the wool. And I'm anxious to see how this turns out. Again, I've never made a felted bag before, and I'm really anxious to see how this turns out. Let's get this washed, and I'll be back and show you the final results. So this is the finished bag after I put it in the laundry. I washed it on the highest hot setting I had on my washing machine, and this is what it come out. It's a beautiful thick texture. Now you can do it again if you wish, but this is really thick and heavy. The only thing I didn't do was I forgot to measure it before I washed it, so I do know it shrank a bit. Let me grab my ruler, and the widest part on the bottom from point to point is just a little under 12 inches. So let me turn this. So it's about 11 3/4 inches. And then when I measure it just to the top center of the bag here, it measures about 10 inches without the strap, just at the top where the button is. So it's still a nice size little bag for running around town, just grabbing it and going. And again, before you finish your bag, you can choose to add the little decorative gypsy rose, or you can make this bag and leave it plain, or you can put whatever embellishments you wish on your own bag. So this is it. Now it's still damp, so what I suggest is you take and you pin this. You make sure it's in the shape you want. Stretch that out just a bit so it doesn't dip in and you have a nice shape to your bag. And that is all there is to felting a purse. It was a wonderful experience. Now, again, I would like to thank Hobium Yarns for supplying the yarn to make this bag. It was fun, and I think you would enjoy trying to make something felted yourself. I think this would be adorable yarn to try to make a teddy bear, and when you wash it you can see it come to life. Just remember that it does shrink, so it will be a smaller size than what you started with. So thanks again, Hobium Yarn. Thank you to my subscribers for coming back and watching this crochet tutorial on the Gypsy Rose Hobo bag. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try to make a felted product out of crochet. It was really fun. So I just want to tell everybody, thank you for stopping by my channel. I hope you enjoyed making the Gypsy Rose Hobo bag, and all the links will be in my description box. But please make sure you hit that like button and the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the crochet fun here at Creative Grandma. Happy crocheting, everyone!